The first thing Sarixa felt when she regained consciousness was cold. Not the artificial chill of a controlled habitat, but the raw, biting cold of an unshielded world, wind cutting across her skin, carrying dust and metallic ash. Her breathing was shallow, each inhale sending pain through her chest. One of her arms refused to move. She tried to sit up.
Failed.
Above her, the sky of Kairos, 9 burned a dull orange, its twin suns sinking toward the horizon. This was an execution world. Everyone in the KRYLL Dominion knew that. A place where dishonored citizens were abandoned, not killed outright, but left for nature, exposure, or predators to finish the job. Sarixa remembered the judgment chamber, the circle of elders. The verdict spoken without emotion. Genetic deviation. Psychological instability. Liability to the Dominion. Exile. Death by neglect. She had expected to die afraid. What she had not expected was relief. At least it would end. A shadow passed over her. Sarixa's heart skipped. Predator. She forced her eyes to focus, claws flexing weakly. The silhouette was wrong. Too upright.
Too narrow.
Bipedal. Her fear spiked instantly. Human. She had never seen one in person, but the Dominion's warnings were clear. Humans were unpredictable, emotion-driven, violent when cornered. A species that survived not through strength or unity, but stubborn refusal to die. The shadow resolved into a man in environmental gear, visor lifted. His face was exposed to the toxic wind, eyes squinting against the grit. He froze when he saw her. "Oh," he muttered. "You're alive." Sarixa tried to crawl away. Pain screamed through her body, and she collapsed with a broken hiss. The human raised both hands immediately. Hey, I'm not here to hurt you." Lies, her instinct screamed. Humans always said that first. "Please," he added, voice strained. "Don't move. You're bleeding internally." He knelt, slow and deliberate, maintaining distance. Sarixa bared her teeth weakly. "You should leave." "Yeah," he said quietly. "I probably should." He didn't. Jonah Mercer hadn't planned on becoming a hero. He was a salvage operator, one of the thousands of humans scraping a living from abandoned battlefields and dead worlds at the edge of alien space. Kairos 9 had been written off decades ago, a former KRYLL mining colony poisoned by its own industry. He was only here for scrap. Then he found her. Alien. Injured. Branded with exile markings along her neck. Jonah knew enough alien law to recognize what that meant. "They left you here to die," he said softly. Sarixa closed her eyes. "Yes." He hesitated. "Why?" "For being different." Jonah exhaled through his teeth. "Figures." He activated his medkit, scanning her vitals. The readout spiked warnings. "Look," he said, "I can stabilize you, but you won't last the night out here." Sarixa stared at him. "Why would you help me?" He met her gaze. "Because you're hurt." "That is not an answer," she snapped weakly. "It is for humans." She searched his expression for deception. Found only exhaustion and something else. Concern. "You should fear me," she said. "My people taught us that humans kill without logic." Jonah gave a humorless laugh. "Your people ever meet us?" "No." "Yeah," he said. "That tracks." Against every instinct she had, Sarixa allowed him to inject the stabilizer. The pain dulled, her breathing eased. "Why are you really here?" she asked. Jonah finished sealing a fracture brace on her arm. "Same reason most humans go where they're not wanted," he said. "Because nobody else will." Transporting her nearly killed them both. Jonah's ship was barely rated for 2 occupants and not designed for KRYLL physiology. He rerouted life support, jury-rigged atmospheric converters, and ignored 3 separate alarms screaming about overload. Sarixa drifted in and out of consciousness. Each time she woke, he was there, adjusting settings, checking vitals, talking, sometimes to her, sometimes just into the void. He told her about Earth, about rainstorms and gravity that crushed alien visitors, about humans arguing endlessly, fighting wars, then rebuilding from rubble like it was a habit. "Your species doesn't make sense," she murmured once. He smiled tiredly. "We know." When they reached a fringe medical outpost, the automated systems balked at admitting her. Non-citizen. KRYLL Dominion biological signature. No clearance. Jonah slammed his fist against the console. Override. Denied. He didn't hesitate. He cut the system. The alarms howled. Defense drones powered up. Jonah stood between them and her pod. "If you're going to shoot," he said, voice steady, "do it now." The drones paused, then powered down. Sarixa watched everything through the haze of recovery. For the first time in her life, someone had chosen her over safety. The KRYLL came for her 3 days later. A patrol vessel dropped out of hyperspace above the outpost, demanding the return of Dominion property. Sarixa felt the old fear return, sharp and paralyzing. "They'll kill you," she told Jonah. "Humans are not protected here." He checked the power levels on his ship. "Then we leave." "You can't outrun a KRYLL warship." "Didn't say I'd outrun it," he replied. "Just need to survive long enough." They launched under fire. Jonah flew like a madman, pushing his ship past safe limits, skimming gravity wells, diving into radiation storms that fried KRYLL sensors. Sarixa watched in disbelief. "You're insane," she said. He grinned.
Yep.
A near miss sent them spiraling. Systems failed. Power died. They crash-landed on a moon no one had bothered to name. Smoke filled the cabin. Jonah coughed, dragging himself free. He collapsed moments later, blood spreading beneath him. Sarixa ignored her pain and pulled herself to him. "Why?" she demanded, voice shaking. "Why do this for me?" He looked up at her, vision fading. "Because," he whispered, "someone once did it for us." She stayed awake through the night, shielding him with her body as temperatures dropped. For the first time, the alien woman who feared humans prayed for one. They were rescued at dawn by a human patrol. Jonah survived. The KRYLL never reclaimed Sarixa. Word spread quietly through fringe space of a KRYLL exile saved by a human, of a species that risked war to protect one life deemed worthless by its own people. Sarixa recovered slowly. She stayed with Jonah, not as a dependent, as a witness. She told her story to anyone who would listen. And when KRYLL envoys finally confronted her, demanding she return and face correction, she stood tall beside the human who had saved her. "I was left for dead," she said. "By you." She placed a hand on Jonah's shoulder. "This human chose me when my own species would not. And because of that, I no longer fear them." The KRYLL left in silence. Jonah glanced at her. "So, what now?" Sarixa smiled, a rare, careful expression. "Now," she said, "I help your people understand mine." He raised an eyebrow. "You sure?" She looked out at the stars. "Fear built our empire," she said. "But humanity builds bridges from fear." She met his eyes. "And I was wrong about you." Jonah chuckled.
Yeah.
"We get that a lot." As their ship jumped to hyperspace, Sarixa realized something profound. Humanity wasn't dangerous because it conquered. Humanity was dangerous because it cared, even when it shouldn't. And the galaxy would never be the same.